Hello everybody and welcome to 10 things I hate about FIFA 17. I have played this game for around 130 hours now. I pre-ordered it. I played around an hour per day in average. And therefore I'm at around 130 hours. I play a lot of career mode, almost just career mode for everybody who is not on this channel yet or was not on this channel yet. So I will say one thing about Ultimate Team, because some people might want to hear a lot of things about Ultimate Team, but I will concentrate on gameplay, random stuff and career mode. I will go through the things in alphabetic order, starting with number 1, contracts and transfer budget. Well, there was something in all the FIFAs until FIFA 17, and that is, you can see in the background, FIFA 15, 16 is, well, contracts were in the office tab and the transfer budget were in the transfers tab. And like this, it just makes sense that in the contract and office, in the transfer budget is in the transfer tab. That just makes sense. This is where they belong, these two things. And I don't know who came up with the idea in EA, who came up with the idea to swap these two, but it just doesn't feel right. Every time I see contracts and transfers or the transfer budget in office, a little bit of I'm dying a little bit. Little bit of my soul is always dying. It's just not correct. It's just really not correct in my opinion. I do understand that maybe because together with transfer budget you have the whole projection thing, and this is where you get money from, and this is why you lose money. But it still doesn't make sense in my opinion. So please swap that back. Another thing, as you can see in FIFA 15, 16. There was the option to request funds, to ask for more money, to say, okay, here are more goals and ask more money. You can even ask for, I won't have the same goals, I still think I want more money. And most of the time the board gave you some money, not that much most of the time, but they did. And I think EA tried to replace that idea with like, you have some goals for the venture rating, you have some goals, and if you achieve them, every time you achieve one, you get some money. But that system doesn't really work in my opinion, so please bring back the asking for more money or request funds option. Please bring it back. And last but not least, what I really dislike there about contracts are the wages. I will give you 2 examples. The first one is Achim Klein. He was a right back, a big talent, 90 to 94 potential, going a lot, 79 rated, in the end even more high rated, and I had him for 2 years, and he just asked for more money or high wages just once in the 2 years, from 500 euros to 650. Now, a player, probably the biggest right back talent in the whole world, 90 to 94 potential, growing really fast, having amazing stats, having a huge transfer value, asking for improvement from 500 to 650 euros within 2 years. I mean, of course that's nice for me because I don't have to spend that much money, but still it's just not realistic. And I gave you a second example already, that was Neves in just recently, the second last episode I uploaded with my Aston Villa K mode, or for my Aston Villa K mode. He was on £8,000 and just asked for an improvement to £10,000. When I sent him, he was like 75 rated or so, gone up to I think 80, and just from 8,000 to £10,000, really from like, I think that's it's £400,000 a year to £500,000 a year, just doesn't make sense. And FIFA 14, 15 I already thought that the players would ask not for enough. They asked for, like, for example, Achim Klein would, in FIFA 16, if he would have been on 500, he would have asked for 2,000 instead of straight going up to saying, okay, I was a talent, now I'm an amazing player, I want 20,000, I want 1 million a year. That would be realistic if you look at real life. Look at some big talents who are like coming from the youth squad and just getting a very, very small wage to, like, for the first contract, but then they actually improve a lot and get some big players helping the first team, and then there is a huge improvement because some teams are interested and you really want to keep them. Big improvements. In FIFA 16 he probably would have asked for like 2,000, but 650, are you kidding me? Or from 8,000 to 10,000? That's not okay. Please change that. Number 2 is database. Very quick, what I don't like is the amount of regions, of talents, of prospects in the free agent list or in other teams coming through the youth squad. In my opinion, that's not enough. In FIFA 15, 16 it was decent enough, not amazing, but at least decent enough. But now I can be 2 or 3 seasons in, look for the free agent and can't find anybody. I cannot even find one. And realistic is that every year there are, like, in whole Europe, like 10 more big talents. They might in the end actually be quite bad and like overhyped, but every year there are like 10 new big talents in the whole of Europe. And let's say at least, you should be at least able to find 3-4 big talents who seem to have a big potential, maybe are not growing that big anymore, whatever, but at least seem to be some big talents in the free agent list or in some big team coming through the youth squad. And sometimes actually I can't find anybody, and that's just not okay. So the amount of region talents is another thing I hate that has to be improved. We need more, because this is not realistic. Number 3 is defending, especially I want to talk about AI defending. In the background you can see some examples of what I'm talking about. Outside the box, the AI is not doing any kind of fouls, it's not tackling. But in the box it seems like the biggest hobby from the computer, but the AI, is to slide tackle for no reason. I get penalties sometimes in multiple games. One of them was in the Champions League final. And I do understand, and these are just some examples. I just played 2 career modes and started a third one recently. And these are just some examples, there are more examples. And of course you also have to remember that sometimes the defender is slide tagging, but you are just too fast, so he can't foul you. Or of course sometimes I'm doing a career mode with Schalke or Aston Villa, playing the Bundesliga and the BPL. There are some big defenders, some amazing defenders, high rated defenders with some decent slide tackling. So sometimes it does work out. But it really looks like twice a game, for no reason, some defender tries to slide tackle. And you see in some most of the examples, there wasn't anything interesting. I sometimes didn't even face the goal, sometimes I was in a bad position, was not able to do anything, I would have to pass it back. And they just decide to slide tackle without any chance to get the ball. And that's not okay. It's like the contracts, the wage, it's nice for me. The wage, of course, it's for me nice because the wage which isn't that high. Here, of course, I get some penalties, even in situations where I couldn't have done anything. But it's not realistic, it's just retarded. Another thing is, in the box they're found too often, but outside the box they're found not enough. It seems like the AI, even on Legendary, does not know what a tactical foul is. When you have a counter attack, they never try to just get a yellow card to make a tactical foul, and that's not good. At least for me, that's just stupid. So if you want to make the defending, I do like a lot about it, but if you want to do it more realistic, then first stop them goddamn slide tackling in the box. That's just so stupid. And let them learn what tactical fouls are. Number 4 is the first touch, and what I'm talking about here is that the players already, since the first time I played FIFA 17, and still the case, they cannot shoot first time, or they do sometimes, but let's see, before the ball gets to my player, I press the shot button or the pass button, I ask him to shoot or pass first touch, with his first touch. And what is he doing? Even what I ask him to do, he makes another touch and then tries to shoot and pass. And I do lose the ball so often because of that. And sometimes, of course, it's correct. Maybe I have a lot of space and I'm a bit nervous. I'm playing too hectic and trying to shoot it straight away. And the player keeps the ball first, makes the first touch to get it in control and then shoots. Yes. And then again, it would help me. But if I ask the player to shoot or pass first time, even if it's a bad decision, he has to do it. Because in the end, the player has to do what I press. If I press the button so that he should shoot or pass first time, he has to do that. And it's one of the most frustrating things. If I have a chance in the box, ask for a first time shot because I see I don't have a lot of space, but I have the gap to shoot from. And what is this my player doing? Trying another touch and then shooting and easily gets blocked or tackled. They always try to make another touch, and I don't know, it's not just the first touch. Even if I'm triple and then ask him to shoot, he makes 1 or 2 more touches for no reason. And that's one of the most frustrating things, and I'm very sure you had that as well, you experienced it as well. This has to be one of the worst things about this game. And there's one big, for example, FIFA YouTuber, a German FIFA YouTuber called FIFA, huge FIFA YouTuber, is like an amazing, he's one of the best FIFA YouTubers in the whole Germany, even for most, and for myself as well, for me as well, the best German FIFA YouTuber, and he made a whole video just about that, and it's a really bad thing, and I don't understand why it's even in the game. I have no idea. In FIFA 16 it wasn't, and FIFA 17 it is. I hate it. Number 5 is the whole injury system. In the background I will show you a few situations where my players got injured for no reason, and then always do the same thing. They stand up, hold their shoulder, and then they have a leg injury. It just makes sense. But let's start from the start. Let's begin from the start. I don't know. The first thing is, if my player gets slide tackled, from behind and there's a red card or whatever, they are never injured. The chance that they are injured is like 2%. But in normal tackles, where nothing should have happened, nobody jumped, nobody made an awkward move, nobody made a slide tackle or whatever, like normal tackles where nothing should have happened, this is always where my players get injured. And another thing is this animation. Every time they they stand up and hold their shoulder and have a leg injury, the animation is just the same all the time. All the time you see the animation standing up, holding their shoulder, and they always, as I showed you, have either the broken leg, the broken ankle, the sprained ankle, or this one injury Jordan Morris had with this 7-month injury. I have no idea how to pronounce it, to be honest, so I won't even try. But the thing is, nothing, like harmful tackle, nothing should have happened, stupid animation, and months-long injury. It just does make sense. And these are all the injuries. You don't have like the short injuries, you always have these injuries. So in my opinion, what has to change is that we have more injuries. I actually say this, yes, I want more injuries because it's not realistic to just have an injury once a month. But shorter injuries. In real life, you very often have to like replace 1 or 2 players who are just injured for a few days, just have missed one game. Here you never have that, or very, not really often, like almost never. But always these long injuries. And my Aston Villa game mode and my AC Citadel game mode, at some point, just quite recently, I had 8 injuries. 8 injuries in total. And 6, I think, of these 8 injuries were either a broken leg, broken ankle, this injury from Jordan Morris, or one sprained ankle. And therefore always out for 1 to 7 months. So please, I want to see shorter, but more injuries. Especially, for example, I play FM, I play Football Manager 17, and there I think it's perfect. It is perfect. You see so many injuries, but they're all for a few days, for like a week, for 3 days, whatever, just missing one game. This is how it's supposed to be. Please change it, and please make an animation for when the player is injured badly and cannot stand up. Let the 2 medics come on, or let, like, I don't know, do some kind of celebration. Let the player be on the counter, make this like circle movement with the 2 fingers to show them, hey, I have to get subbed off, I can't play on. Something, make an animation for the players badly injured and cannot play on, because it's just completely retarded. And I hate the fact that they have a broken leg and then stand up with a broken leg, move a few meters and hold their shoulder. First of all, why are they holding the shoulder? And second of all, why would they stay up and move a few meters with a broken motherfucking leg? This does not make sense. Number 6 is the manager rating. I do love the manager rating, all the things, but there's one thing, I just don't want to waste too much time on that. In the background you can see the first 4 episodes for any kind of game mode I did in FIFA 17, my Schalke 04 game mode, the first 4 episodes. You saw this, like 37 rating in the start, then I played 1 game and it's gone up to 65, then I saved it, loaded the same save at the exact same point, but it's not 65 anymore, but down to 40, then up to 70, down to whatever. They are always going up, and it's improved a lot, at least for my experience is that it improved a lot. These huge, like, these bugs still happen, like it's going up and going down all the time for no reason, and you end the game mode episode with some rating and then save and load the same file, and it can be a different rating. It's just not that extreme. It's not like plus 30, minus 30, it's just like plus 5, minus 5, but it still happens, so please just fix that bug. Because in the end, everything works decently, the goals, everything works, but the main thing, like in the goals we look like once or twice a season, or let's say 3-4 times a season maybe. At the rating we look 3-4 times every hour. We look at this when we start the game mode, after every game maybe, when we end, every time we look at this, and if this number on the top left does make sense, the whole thing is kind of fucked. Number 7 is match scheduling and rescheduling. The message I hate the most in this game is match got rescheduled, because very often, not that often actually to be honest, but it still happens, not as often as FIFA 16, there is some improvement, but it still happens, and I do hate it, that there are 2 games within just 2 days, so like Saturday game and Sunday game, or Saturday and Monday, so within 3 days, or 3 games within 5 days. And one thing why I hate this message, because rescheduling makes it worse all the time, or let's say at least most of the time. Everything could be perfect, we have like everything works, and then you get the message for no reason, there wasn't a cup game, just for no reason you get the message match rescheduled, and for whatever reason one of these like 2 games within 2 or 3 days, or 3 games in 5 days appear again. Like the match reschedule message makes it worse 90% of the time, and I don't get this. And it should not be too difficult to bookend the game. Like if you reschedule games, make sure that there are always at least 2 days between games. It should not be too difficult. I don't understand why this is still a thing. Number 8 is probably the thing I hate the most about this game. It's the training. I did love it, FIFA 17. I did not expect it. I didn't know anything about it. And then this big update came with training, which was the biggest change in the career mode. And I loved it. I loved it. There were a lot of things that didn't work out, but most of the things were amazing. Now the thing is though, a lot of things were amazing, and EA still got some criticism for 1-2 things that should change. And you would expect, let's say there are 3 things that the community wants to have changed. You would expect EA to at least like work on 2. They didn't change anything. There was not one single fucking change, not even one single change. And the things I'm talking about is, first of all, there are not enough training slots. Once a week, up to 5 players, you can train up to 5 players, is not enough. I want at least to see 11. I would make it like, if you an ultimate team open a pack and you see some cards, and let's say that's 30 plus items, you see some cards and then you can scroll to the right, just do the same for training slots. You see 5 and you have to scroll to the right so you see the other ones. Shouldn't be too difficult. Another thing I would even think is way more important. For me, this is essential. This has to be included in FIFA 18, otherwise I'm going crazy. This has to be included. I'm waiting for this way too long already. If this is in game, I don't even care if they're still just 5 training slots. This is way more important, and this is team training. And I will just present you with fast the way I will do it. What I would say describe as perfect way to do this. You have 4 different areas: goalkeeper, defender, midfielder, attacker. Every player in these positions get one certain training as like team training. You don't make one training for the whole team, but for like all goalkeepers, for all defenders or midfielders or attackers. In my opinion, youth players should be included, but I would say maybe that's too much because then you might improve them too much. I'm not sure, but I feel like youth players should be included in some way. What I would do is like you have up to 5 points, and you can invest this 5 points in all stats there are. I would accept, okay, goalkeepers can only get 20 goalkeeper stats, and outfield players not in goalkeeper stats. I would give like 5 points, and you can invest these 5 points in all the stats. So if I would, let's say I want to train my midfield, and I want to train that in passing, especially like long passing, crossing, I can give like 3 points in long passing to in crossing, whatever. If you have, if in some stats there are 0 points, then these stats are not getting trained. And if they are 1 up to 5, you can have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, of course, that points. The more you invest in this, in these like stats, the harder the training is. The more intense this stat will be trained, and the more improvements you see. So if you really want to improve your defenders in tackling, you have all 5 points in tackling and they will train. If you want to make like an all-round training, then put 2 in tackling, 1 in heading, 1 in jumping, 1 in marking. If you want to really improve just something completely different, want to improve the vision of your center backs, then improve vision so they cross better, make more long passes, because you want to have more Mats Hummels type of players. This is how I would see, or what I would describe as perfect option. You can tell me what you think about this and what you would do, but this is what I would see as the perfect way to do it. If that's the case, I would be perfectly happy. And last but not least, another thing I do not like is that you can still not train or change the position and the skill moves and recruit of players. Very often in FIFA 16 and the same in FIFA 17, I do have players who are on the are right backs or left backs, but have amazing pace, ball control, dribbling, finishing, crossing, and no defending whatsoever. So I can perfectly use them as left or right winger. And as left and right winger, they are amazing. They would be 85 rated. But because they are for some reason right backs and left backs and don't have any other position and have like 40 tackling, they are really low rated. And there is an advantage of that, of course, that I don't have to give them like an amazing squad role and don't have to play them that often. I don't have to give them that much mage. But it just is nice, but again not realistic. Realistic would be that if he is an amazing right winger, left winger and is getting used there, that in some point he gets that position, and then he realizes that he is an amazing player. He should ask for high wages. And for example, if I have like an amazing right winger, left back winger, but he is positioned as right back or left back, when I want to sell him, I won't get a good offer. Or if I want to loan out, I won't get a good offer because he is low rated, just 55 rated, even though he should be 85 rated. And that happens really often. That happened every FIFA I played yet, this happened. And this has to be changed, have to be the most important thing. There is some way that players in a career mode can adapt to a different position through training or for something else. Some way has to be included in FIFA 18, has to be, otherwise this is really bad. This is one of the main things I do hate. The second last thing of these 10 is the transfer system. And again, I want to talk about the AI, who, for example, you are allowed to do a lot. You have a lot of options, but the AI cannot do that. So for example, they don't ask for a loan if my player is not on the loan list. If my player is not on the loan list, I won't get a loan offer. That should be changed. It just makes sense in my opinion. Another thing is that things you can do, like offer a player for a player, like player for player deals, like offer a player on 10 million pounds, offer a loan with a future fee, and this kind of stuff, the AI cannot do. They are not only not asking for a loan when my player's on the loan list, but even if my player's on the loan list, they never ask for a loan with a future fee. They never say they want a future fee as well. They never offer me a player and money for a player. They never do this. And another thing is, you should be able to offer a player for money. So for example, if a player's on the transfer list, then I should be kind of like able to offer them to other teams for a certain amount of money. I don't think that's so difficult to just let the AI do more things, the same things you are able to do as well. I mean, you are able to do it, it's already in the game, then the AI should be able to do it as well. Last but not least, Man United. Just there are some transfers that always don't make sense, but this time the worst has to be Man United, who is just signing a lot of strikers, who in every K mode signing, like my first K mode, my Schalke 04 K mode, I made freezing K mode. They had Zlatan, they had Rashford, of course, Rooney, you can use him there, but he is more of a midfielder. But they signed Aubameyang, Lewandowski, and they signed another one, I can't remember, but Icardi. So they had Aubameyang, Lewandowski, Icardi, and Zlatan and Rashford, and they're just playing with one of them. Sometimes I even don't see them playing with one, but with Martial up front and having all these players on the bench. In my K mode, in my Aston Villa K mode, they signed Lacazette, Benzema, and I think Aubameyang as well. And the same thing happens. The first time I played with them in the BPL, they played with Martial up front. So why are they signing these players? It just does make sense. Oh, Harry Kane, they signed Harry Kane as well in my Aston Villa K mode. Like, that does make sense. The last thing are youth players. I will show you in the background. I'm doing a K mode with AC Della, where I make a YSL Youth Squad Legend K mode, where I'm only able to use youth players. We made a challenge from just 3 nations. I'm just allowed to scout 3 nations: Greece, Turkey, and Romania. And I replaced my whole team by these. And there I was really able to see that physical stats still don't make sense. They are growing physical stats kinda decently, that's nice, but especially pace is missing. You saw my youth squad, you are seeing my squad report probably as well right now, and all the players. And I think the best combo somebody have, the best combination of acceleration sprint speed is 78 acceleration and 80 sprint speed. A player I signed for my own youth squad, I think it's 75 and 79 or something. And if I'm not wrong, there is not even one player, and I scouted so many already, because I'm almost done with 2 seasons. You don't know how many squad reports already had. I scouted so many already, and I think I didn't even find once a player with acceleration or sprint speed above 80. I don't think I found even one player who has in acceleration or sprint speed a rating of more than 80. And that's stupid, especially because young players are known for having a low stamina, having being small, having no mental stats, are stupid a bit, and no strength. But what they have is agility, acceleration, sprint speed, and dribbling. This is what young players always have. All the big talents who are 17, 18 have exactly that. And they have to learn to get physical, strong, and other stats. But everybody like Neymar, they are always dribbling, pace and stuff. And to not even find one over 80 acceleration or sprint speed is just not realistic, and one of the main things I hate, because it destroys such a series. And now I'm gonna finish with a bonus, which is Ultimate Team. Why do I not play Ultimate Team? There are 2 reasons. First of all, it would cost money because of PlayStation Plus. Second of all, as you can see in the background, the special cards. When I started back when 2-3 years ago, when I played a lot of Ultimate Team, there were 3 types of special cards, I think. In my opinion, there should be Team of the Weeks, Team of the Season, Team of the Year, and Record Breaker, and this should be it. There are every 2 months there's a new kind of special card. There was this like Movember special card, then something with skeletons, I think it's Halloween. This blue shit with Adurius had some blue card, I don't even know what that is. That is not good. I would accept if they're like international man of the matches or something, for like if they're European Championships or World Cups. But for me, there should be just 4, and that should be Inform, or Team of the Week, Team of the Year, Team of the Season, and Record Breaker. There are so many that it's just not special. The special cards are not special anymore. It is not special to have a special card anymore, and that just destroyed it for me. There you have it, guys. 10 things I hate. I always try to show you some examples as well as tell you why I hate it, and also try to give some solutions. I hope you enjoy it. I wanna know your thoughts on what on all these things in the description, in the comment box. Do you disagree? Do you have some other things you hate? If you want to do, I can make like a list of 10 things you guys or the community hates. If you give me things, just depends on you. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If so, please smash the like button. I will see you tomorrow with Aston Villa. Have an amazing day, guys, and bye.